Okay, is it okay now? So a bearing, once again I'm repeating, a bearing is a machine element which supports another element or another moving machine element that is known as general. It permits a relative motion between the contact surfaces of the members while carrying the load. First point is one. Second one, if you think that a little consideration will show that due to the relative motion, a little consideration will show that due to a relative motion between the contact surfaces, a certain amount of power is wasted in overcoming the frictional resistance, and if the rubbing surface are in direct contact, there will be a rapid wear. Now take an example like this is your one surface, this is your another surface. You are putting this in contact. If you put this in contact, what will happen? There will be contact between this will occur. Because of this contact, what will happen? If your two materials, this is your first material, suppose this is your second, but anything, don't focus on bearing, take any example. If it will come into contact with each other, if they will come in contact with each other, what will happen? Because of their contact, some friction will occur. And at the, if you take your example of your hand also, take your both hand, try to rub on each other or slide on each other, what will happen? After some time you feel that there will be something called, some heat will be generated. Why will this is, it is given a little consideration will show that due to the relative motion between the contact surfaces, a certain amount of power is wasted in overcoming the frictional resistance, and if the rubbing surfaces are in direct contact, there will be the rapid wear. Next one you can see, in order to reduce, now if you want to reduce the friction, suppose take example of your cycle. If your cycle having sprocket and chain, what will happen? It will run smoothly, but once that oil is over in that, it will start making some sound. Is it? So similar way, if you want to take out the additional heat or additional power, whatever is generated while rubbing the two surfaces of bearing or anything, if you want to take out the wear to reduce the resistance friction, or in order to reduce the resistance friction and wear, in the some cases to carry away the heat generated, a layer of fluid known as lubricant must be provided. Now you did the exam in your lab, you did this practical, you took one sheet or iron, you make a drilling and boring experience you already did. So while doing this, what you did, when you are putting drill inside this to dig the hole here or to make a throughout hole, you are putting some lubricant. You are putting one lubricant. Is it? You did this experiment just now. That's why you are keeping something lubricant here in order to reduce the friction. Or for that sake, you are telling that if in the case something will happen, your tool, that is a drill bit will be broken, or maybe wear will occur, tip will broke like this. For that purpose, we are putting the lubricant. This is, we are putting lubricant over there. So similar way, we are putting lubricant in your sprocket and chain also, in order to reduce the friction and running of the cycle smoothly. Like this same condition, you have to put a lubricant in bearing also, so that it will run smoothly without any frictional resistance loss or any noise will generate because of this. Now we'll see the classifications of bearing. So bearing is classified based on the first one, it is given the bearing is classified depending upon the direction of load to be supported, or the bearing under the groups are classified as first one is your radial bearing, second one is your thrust. Radial bearing one and thrust bearing. The thrust bearing you also call this as axial bearing. Okay. Now radial. What do you mean by radial? Suppose this is your okay, take this one is your bearing or anything material. If load is acting vertically downward or perpendicular to the axis, your load either it is acting vertically downward or perpendicular to the axis so that will be the condition of your radial. This is known as radial one. Okay, if load is acting perpendicular to the direction or to the axis, so in that case, in a radial bearing, the load acts perpendicular to the direction of motion of the moving element. See, here also given same thing. So here it is taken, the load acts perpendicular to the direction of the motion of the moving element. So here our moving element, if load is acting perpendicular direction of motion, then it is known as radial bearing. Now thrust, what is thrust? Now take an example, anything, any material, anything, any component, element, this is its axis. If the load is acting along the axis, if the load is acting along this axis, got it? If the load, this load, whatever load we are taking, this P, if it is acting along this axis of the moving element, then it is known as axial, or we can also term this as thrust. Either we can say this is as axial or thrust. Okay, so in thrust bearing, the load acts along the axis of the rotation. Same thing. What I told now, same thing. If you want to see, once again, I'm repeating. Consider this one as your bearing. My load, I'm putting this. This is the axis of rotation. Whatever it is there from center to outward, it is showing with the help of pen. I'm showing this is the axis of rotation of my bearing, suppose. Now, if I will act load in this direction also, it will be perpendicular this. In this direction also, it will be perpendicular. So, if the load will act perpendicular to the axis of motion, you have to tell this one as radial bearing. Now, if in the case my this load is coming along the axis of motion, then we have to say this one as axially loaded bearing or thrust bearing. Am I clear now? Now here you can see diagram same how load will act. This is axial. See here you can see this is axially out acting on that. This is your example of axial load. This is example of your radial. Here also you can see how the load will act with the one more example. This is your radial plane bearing. This is your axial thrust plane bearing load. Now here you can say this is your bearing, this is your axis. Load is acting perpendicular. Here, this is the axis. This axis is looking with the same direction along with this. This is your thrust. Now, second one we will discuss. Second one now. Second one, as you can see here, depending upon the nature of contact. Now this is our actual topic we are discussed in this bearing. First one is sliding contact bearing, another one is rolling contact bearing. Now what will happen in sliding contact bearing? In, you can see here, in sliding contact bearing, the sliding takes place along the surfaces of contact between the moving element and the fixed element. The sliding contact bearing are also known as a plane bearing. Now what will happen in sliding contact bearing? Here one surface is in fixed condition, or your one element is fixed element and another one is moving element. So in case of bearing, moving element, as we seen already, it is a general. Okay, one is moving element is there, one is fixed element. So on that only your sliding contact will take place. Second one is your rolling. Second one is your rolling. Now in rolling, what will happen? In rolling contact bearing, the steel balls are rollers are interposed between the moving and the fixed element. The balls offer rolling friction at the 2 points of each ball of or roller. Now how this will appear? As already told, outer case, inner case. Here is your balls. Here is your balls or rollers. Okay. Now one general question I would like to ask you guys. We are discussing the bearings. Can you list out the names of? Can you list out me the names of bearing industries? So here you can see first one is sliding contact. This one is your sliding contact bearing. This one is your rolling contact bearing. So what is in sliding contact bearing? See, you can see one element is fixed. One element is fixed. You can see it is marked with the hatching line with a red color. One element is fixed. This is fixed element. And this inside element, this is the moving element. So because of that, the sliding will occur. One is moving, another remaining all fixed element. Okay, once you come for the rolling contact bearing, here you can see outer is fixed. Here moving element is there one. Balls are there. Balls or rollers you will take here. So based on that, we will get a rolling contact here. Rolling contact will be provided with the help of balls or rollers. Okay, if you will see the what is the difference between both two. Okay, as we can see here, there are some difference between sliding contact bearing and rolling contact bearing. So it is based on the size. First one, as you can see, the sliding contact bearing is larger as compared to rolling contact bearing. Starting torque is high in sliding contact bearing as compared to rolling contact bearing. If you'll see, this is less noisy. Sliding contact bearing is less noisy as compared to your rolling contact bearing. And as the same, less noisy, you can see the life of sliding contact bearing is less. At the same time, rolling contact bearing having a high life. Cost of sliding contact bearing is less. Cost of rolling contact bearing is high. Coefficient of friction is required more, or it is larger as compared to rolling contact bearing. So these are the some basic difference between rolling contact bearing and sliding contact bearing. This is important one to know the concept why we are discussing the sliding contact, rolling contact, everything. Okay.